Welcome to Wealth and Wellness. I am your host, Eric Jetson. This podcast is for seekers and lovers of knowledge and designed to supplement your self-development journey. It's for those who want to share knowledge and wisdom and gain insight into how to better their overall well-being. I created this podcast with the intention of sharing my journey to wealth and wellness, hoping to inspire somebody to make changes in their life. If I can add value to somebody else, they can then add value to at least one more person, causing a ripple effect. We will unpack the different aspects of wealth and wellness and get perspectives from experts in their fields so you can start making better choices today. It's time to elevate with Eric Jetson. You came here to elevate your life. We can always do more to build our wealth and wellness. Let this podcast supplement your self-development journey. Absorb and become a dynamic, well-rounded, and wealthy investor in your mindset and finances. Today, I want to give you some background and how I got to where I am today. I was born in Seattle, but grew up in Scottsdale, Arizona. Phoenix was a booming and growing city then and still continues to grow. I am the middle of 5 children. I grew up playing baseball and have my older brother to thank for challenging my athletic abilities on a daily basis. Playing on many baseball and basketball teams helped me learn discipline, work ethic, delayed gratification, and how to be coachable. Our parents got divorced when I was about 6. The divorce affected each of us kids differently. I am sure many of you can relate. Growing up, there was a lot of stress, arguing, and chaos. My dad raised his 4 sons with little to no help from a couple of stepmoms stopping through. He played the role of mom and dad. He taught us great life skills and street smarts. Emotional stability, not so much. There was a lot of structure, which is what was necessary for the hand he was dealt. I knew I couldn't control or change any of that, so I kept my focus on baseball. I didn't care for education in the classroom much. I was more seeking out wisdom and life skills. I'd rather have a conversation with the teacher about life rather than take notes on the boring lecture that was prescribed to the students that day. I had the privilege of great education growing up. My dad busted his butt to afford us to go to good schools. Being in that type of environment put it all together for me, though I wouldn't realize it until years later. I really enjoyed sports and activities of all kinds. I might be part golden retriever. I could play certain sports or work out for hours. I am gifted with athletic ability, but I always wanted to get better and reach the next level of competition. I started going to the gym when I was 13 when my dad had gotten a gym membership to LA Fitness. That became our thing. I learned a lot about fitness, the human body, discipline, and patience. On top of weightlifting, I played a lot of basketball and racquetball at the gym. Fitness developed as a staple in my life. I knew I wanted to be healthy and fit my whole life. I have said for a long time that I want to live till I am 100 years old. I knew I didn't want to be limited by money, time, or physical ailments, so from then on, I would always invest in my overall well-being. My body, my mind, and my spirit. I am grateful not to have suffered many injuries playing sports. I did experience friends who suffered bad injuries, and I always did my best to take care of and maintain my body through proper nutrition, strength training, and stretching. I banged myself up a few times in college for being dumb, so I learned my lesson there. I knew I wasn't going to play professional baseball, so during my teenage years, my energy shifted to looking ahead to college and working a job. I started working at 16 as a busboy at a mom-and-pop restaurant called Wally's. It was an American pub and grill. The restaurant had delicious food and was located in Arcadia, an affluent suburb of Phoenix. I had grown up playing Arcadia Little League, so I knew a lot of the families that would come in. I actually got the job through my friend. His older brother worked there and got me an interview. I will never forget that interview. That process taught me a valuable life lesson. Who you know can be more valuable than what you know. I learned so much about the restaurant business, and working there opened another door for me as I transitioned to college. In-state college was the only option for me, and I would pay my way through. I understood the importance of networking and surrounding yourself with an association that would make you better. I have a competitive personality, so I always wanted to learn new things and improve on them with each repetition. Because of this, I quickly climbed the ladder in the restaurant business. I had my eggs in multiple baskets and was spread pretty thin in my college years, but they were all time and money investments into my future. I knew the ages of 18 to 23 could be pivotal if my time was allocated wisely. I went to some classes, but it was tough to juggle school, job, girlfriend, and fraternity. I was one of the few members of the entire fraternity that had a job in college. Not what I expected, but it was an eye-opening time for me because a lot of the members came from more affluent backgrounds than I had, and the option to not have to have a job was available to them. All amazing men that I talked to this day. I knew I wanted to give my family and future generations more options in their life and not be limited by money. I always thought of how cool it would be to pay for my grandkids or nephews' college in cash. In my 4th year of college, I lived with 7 other fraternity brothers. All 7 of their parents sent me the rent money to turn into the landlord while I paid my own way and managed the rent and utilities. With that experience combined with working in the restaurant, I knew I wanted to be the one managing the money. I am grateful that my dad instilled a strong work ethic in me. He got that from his father. Now it's my turn to leverage that strong work ethic, but to work smarter instead of harder. This is the greatest time to be alive. We have so many amazing tools at our fingertips, yet we don't know how to use them to their maximum potential. Just like we won't reach our full potential if we don't act on the knowledge we ingest. Let's get our money working for us instead of us having to go work for our money. It's time to flip the script and be a generational shifter. I've always had the black sheep feeling, and for most, that is hard to understand and doesn't really get fully unpacked. I am smart and intuitive because I have learned to be a good learner. I have learned to be a lover of knowledge, a philosopher. Because of this, a lot of things come easy to me. Most people don't like to feel intimidated, and I have oftentimes disagreed with the majority on various topics, and I'm not one to just go along with what everyone else is doing. I don't want what the majority has, so why would I do what they do? It's ironic because people would project their insecurities on me and pick on me for anything they could find when I was a kid. I didn't understand any of this at the time. I had enough insecurities already dealing with my parents' divorce and getting teased by my older siblings and my dad, but that's just his personality. I've always moved to the beat of my own drum as much as I could. Remember, I had a lot of structure up until I was 18. When I went to college, it was the first time I was in control and could take the pen back and be the author of my own story. You are the designer of your own destiny. I also knew I had to make moves because I had no savings and a handful of liabilities already. I was living paycheck to paycheck or shift to shift with the weight of student loans hanging over my head that I had to start paying off as soon as I graduated. So failure was not an option. That would mean moving back in with my dad, and that just wasn't for me. I graduated from the University of Arizona with a bachelor's degree in the study of communication, the behavioral and social science, not like broadcasting or journalism. In my final year of college, I was working 50 hours a week at the restaurant as an hourly part-time manager. This experience groomed me well for what was to come next. I had been offered a salaried position to open the first North Italia location in California. 2 weeks after graduating, I was moved in and conducting a job fair in Southern California. I got to work with so much talent and made some great friends. 18 months after we opened, I took over as general manager. I had a great pulse on the restaurant and enjoyed running the business. Even though it was Sam Fox's restaurant, I was taught to run it like it was my own. I grew as a leader and a businessman in the 18 months that I was GM. It was in that time where my focus had shifted. I had started dating Crystal, and she had taken to me as a mentor. Crystal opened the North Italia in Summerlin, a suburb of Las Vegas, in December of 2017. Our relationship intensified, and we maintained a long-distance relationship for 10 months. As you can imagine, something had to give. God had planted a seed in me, and it was growing. I couldn't understand it then, but I knew I had to make a change. Change my environment or step away from the restaurant business and regroup. I had a clear trajectory of the opportunity that was ahead for me if I hadn't acted on that feeling. I knew Crystal was put in my life for a reason. I decided to step down from general manager and move to Las Vegas in August of 2018. When I moved in with Crystal, I felt free. I felt like her and I could do anything we wanted. We were finally together, and for once, I could breathe, be myself, and not identify as a GM or boss. I could turn it off, if that makes sense. Things didn't quite turn out as we had planned, but they turned out great. Shortly after I moved in with Crystal, we learned that we were going to have a baby. At the time, I was interviewing with other professionals in the hospitality industry, looking to diversify my resume. When we knew that we were going to become parents, our mindset shifted. Family has always been an important value to us. I was blessed to secure a great job serving tables at Fleming's. I supplemented waiting tables with driving Uber late at night. I know Vegas pretty well now. We were also invited to join a multi-level marketing business model, which I am incredibly grateful for. This network opened my eyes to how money works, the different ways in which people make money, and entrepreneurship principles. I started reading self-development books and listening to encouraging audios. I began reprogramming my subconscious mind. We didn't make very much money along the way, but we made a couple of great friends and were exposed to some incredible examples of wealth, wellness, and holistic success. Between running the restaurant and understanding what it takes to be an entrepreneur, I knew I wanted to start my own business. I have always desired to be my own boss, just like my dad was his own boss. 2019 rocked for me. I got married and my son was born. Because I was engagement ring shopping earlier that year, I was thinking long term and knew I should start investing my money. Robinhood had started to become a thing. I knew I wanted some exposure to stocks, but I knew a little bit about cryptocurrency from back in the college days. My roommate was trading it. I reached out to him to get some insight and see if it would lead me anywhere. He educated me about a project. I did my own research, and I thought the technology and use case were fundamentally sound. I noticed the smart money backing this project and decided to get some skin in the game. I only had $1,000 to play with. I knew an amazing return in the stock market was like 8 to 10%, and it moves pretty slow. I was willing to take the risk investing in crypto. I saw that the upside way outweighed the downside. So I bought $700 of Bitcoin and $300 of Quant, QNT. I quickly doubled my money and learned I needed to buy the dip. Pandemic arose and the market dipped. As the great investors say, buy other people's fear or buy when there is blood in the streets. At this point, I was studying the market, strategies, trading, mindset, everything to better understand crypto. Two amazing ingredients for making money in a market is volatility and volume, and crypto has both. I knew I should take an interest in this emerging technology and brand new asset class because I'm young and my kids will be using this technology, so I better understand it. And the return potential was, of course, very appealing. We wanted to be able to buy back our time and invest that time into ourselves and our family. Freedom is a value of ours. The great flu of 2020 was a blessing for my family. Our son was barely a year old and we were pregnant with our daughter. We were running on the opposite frequency as the rest of the world. We loved going to the parks and pools and enjoyed connecting as a family unit. We tuned out mainstream media as we typically do. Broke mindset people talk about the news, sports, and the weather. 2020 ended with us having our daughter, and we were excited to bring in 2021. 2021 was a building year for a lot of people. Many left their jobs and some started businesses. I felt that I had a lot of knowledge in the cryptocurrency space and I could help others alleviate losing money and time with education. I officially left the restaurant business in May 2021 and launched Jetson Legacy LLC, a digital asset and crypto consulting company 3 months later. My goal is to educate and help others become great researchers. There is too much conflicting information out there. We need to be critical consumers of that information to make the best educated decisions, especially when it comes to our finances. Creating Jetson Legacy has led to a few other entrepreneurs and artists coming together to form a financial and blockchain education company called Chains Explained. We provide free content across social media teaching the importance of building a financial foundation. We offer one-off consultations as well as mentorship so that you can build your legacy with confidence or just figure out where to start on your self-development or investing journey. We each have a different vision for our future, different goals. If we get clear on our goals, we can reverse engineer, implement a tailored strategy with systems, and get you closer to where you want to be or who you want to be. Wealth is not just about material possessions. It is prosperity of the mind, body, and soul. We are all spiritual beings having a human experience. You are already free. You are already wealthy. Please like this podcast, share on your feed, and check out the link in the description for free educational resources or for business inquiries. This is the Wealth and Wellness with Eric Jetson podcast. It's time to activate and elevate. Your journey continues.